Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the Cape Town Sevens, South Africa, taking on the Irish. Two sides that did actually get beaten by the Kenyans, who have started off brilliantly for this leg of the Sevens, already getting themselves the win over the Aussies. But this game for South Africa on home turf, they certainly want to start off with a bang, and they've got quite the side taken to the field here. Kua Nokia, Donovan Don, the Volthuman, David Brits, Zane Davids, Ricardo James Duarte, and also Impi Visa. So we do see the absence of no Christy Grobelaar and also no Ryan Oosterhuizen, two of the big men for the South Africans missing for this leg of the Sevens. They still have plenty left in the tank. In terms of this Irish team, they definitely didn't start the season the way that they would have liked, struggling in Dubai, having a couple big losses under their belt, but in the starting lineup here, Noel Comerford, Rory Woods, Josh Costello, Mark Roach, Tig Brophy, then also Brian Mullen and Jordan Conroy. Now, anytime Conroy is out there on the field, he is extremely hard to stop with his pace, but plenty of pace out there on the park for the Blitzboks as well. Now, I should mention the Cape Town Sevens format is completely different to Dubai. Rather than having 4 sides per pool, it will only be the 3, which does pretty much mean whoever's at the top of that group will go through to the semi-finals that are taking place tomorrow. But it's a very short competition and one that you cannot afford to drop a game. As soon as you've lost one, you're pretty much out of the running unless everyone in their group beats everyone. So winner stays on type mentality. South Africa going to be playing up against Argentina a little bit later on tonight. So some massive games happening just around the corner. Is Cheslin Colby playing, says Duke? He is not, no, but certainly would be a dangerous player in the world of sevens if he was ever to make that transition. But for the South Africans, someone that they do have out there is Ricardo James Duarte. He's filled a bit of a gap that they did have at times last year, but also someone that they are missing so far this season is Selvin Davids. And it cannot be underestimated how much of an impact that man brings to the South African side, who were strong at times throughout Dubai, managing to get themselves a win over France in the group stage fixtures, although did get defeated by France in the end to lose that 5th place playoff game. But this is a part of Pool C. Only the 3 teams, like I said, South Africa, Ireland, and then also the other side, Ireland. The last 5 times that these two sides have met, 4 out of the 5 have been won by the Irish. The most recent meeting being in 2024 in Madrid, where they were able to win it by 5. Before that, game before it was actually also in Madrid, winning it by 5. Then South Africa beat Ireland by 5. So it's normally pretty close between these two sides. There's been one exception to that rule, and that has been the matchup that took place quite a wee while ago, 17-0 for Australia. Colby used to play sevens before he was picked for the 15-man box, says Anton Bosch. And you read comments on your video, says Duke. I do try my best to. We don't reply to a huge amount of them, just because I feel like if I start replying to a couple, then I'd feel bad that I miss so many. But we do try our best to reply every once in a while to the comments. Hey, Hamish, what's up? Says Anthony there. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are excited for this match. It should be an outstanding one. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. But this one's going to be interesting. Captains, co-captains that is, Impi Visa and also Zane Davids, 2 of the bigger men out there on the field. Of course, South Africa love to bring that physicality. Looks like a beautiful afternoon for the Cape Town Sevens, or the almost afternoon, I guess it is in South Africa. And good morning from Essex, UK, says Graham Wilson. Welcome in, Graham. Now just eagerly awaiting these two sides to make their way out of the tunnel. I think Ireland to win by 10,000-0. Says Duke. Now, I don't know whether or not we'll get to that. 10-0 could be a possibility, but 10,000 might be a few too many. Supporting Ireland, says Duke. And there as well. Coming on to the home turf, of course, Cape Town will be heavily behind this Blitzboks team. And shortened format just means 4 games worth you have to get right and you make your way on in this competition and would be champions after the 4 wins. 4 from 4 is all these sides need. It sounds easier said than done. Harry McNulty. It looks like he's going to be warming up at the moment on the sideline. He'll be looking forward to getting some minutes under his belt. Still in bed. And it's still storming outside, says Vleshin, and go the box, says Marthinus. George Selwood, the referee in charge of this one. And Ireland, they will be kicking off from right to left. They are wearing the white. South Africa in the classic green and gold. And that kick from Ireland has not gone the 10 metres. Isn't it 3 pool games, says Nobmum? Only the 2, seeing as there's only 3 teams that are in each of the groups. You only get 2 matches today. And then whatever happens, whoever's at the top goes on to the semi-finals tomorrow. We have got there, Hamish, if you start commenting on video responses and you miss mine, I believe I have been red carded, says Neville. And oops, I mean 2, says Novmum. And the box will win, says JD, and 7 Dutchmen on the South African team, says Steve. Nice run forward from Zane Davids. Ricardo James Duarte, good stepping, coming in the middle of the park from Donovan Brits. In fact, that was David Brits, I believe, who had that position. Tell you what, we're going upstairs for something here. Was this a deliberate knockdown? What are we going to be checking here? Seeing whether or not there was a hand involved. One of the Irishmen might get themselves in a little bit of trouble here. Only 50. Oh, happy to award the try. It's actually going to be the try to South Africa. They've said it was an Irish hand that got in there. And it's going to be the try for the Blitzboks. A brilliant start to the match. Exactly what they were after. We're going to see the replay here. So Donovan Don puts in the fend. And looking for the offload, they've said that it's completely come off an Irish hand, which then makes it play on. And then he manages to score it. Now, that's an interesting one because we actually saw George Selwood blow his whistle before the try was scored. Normally, once that whistle was blown, that's dead ball. But in this case, the touch judge overruling him, and that is now 7-0 in favour of the home side. So they will be well and truly happy with that one. I'm looking from France. Thank you, bro, says Simon. And it is great to have you for this match once again. Now going just 22 metres out from the Irish line, and a good shot coming in on Brophy. Now Waikato pass from the Irish. Another chapter in the Irish/Bok rivalry, says Fleshin. And yeah, it's building across a lot when it comes to the rugby union. Not just the Sevens, or sorry, not just the union, I should say. The Sevens has really picked it up as well from recent times. Now a little grubber in behind. This one's going to be sitting up, or not quite, for Jordan Conroy, waiting for the bounce of the ball here. Oh, both of them overrunning it. And I'm not too sure what the Irish 21 was doing. He tried to kick a ball that was literally sitting up in his chest. And now the pace down the wing for Kua Nokia. Massive mistake made by Ireland. And that's going to be a nice easy try as well. The Africans were by Ireland equals quarter-final, says Steve. And the Blitzboks need some luck, says Neville, on another chapter. And let's, Pocky says it was Doctor and up this mighty Springboks. Yes, I'm really not too sure what the tactic was from the young Irish 21. He's pretty much tried to kick one which was hand height, and all he's done is fly kicked and missed. And then goes away to the side. I was sent here by Daza to watch this video. I have no idea who that is, Duke, if I'm being honest. Are they like a YouTuber? And yeah, I'm here, says Blaine, welcome in. And from South Korea, says H19, so welcome to you as well. Now back into the hands of the South Africans who have started this match extremely well. The Irish inexperience starting to show here early. Now having the likes of McNulty, Terry Kennedy, and all those names out there on the park. Now chance out wide for Mpevesa. He scores the third of the match now. Oh, is he the rugby league fella, Duke? Maybe his name's just come to mind. Possibly. And he does like the rugby league live 5. That might be, actually, yeah. I think it is. It's just hit me in the brain. But that's a beautiful pass out wide. And just Mpevesa, it wasn't going to be an easy job. Still had quite a wee bit of work to do. What's the weather like in Cape Town? It looks like a great afternoon. Those men are in the hot tub next to the ground. And they will be happy with it. I guess he makes videos. Says Duke there. And it is Boknado of tries now, says Dr. Yeah, already 17-0. Now, they have missed 2 of their kicking attempts, which is the only thing keeping the Irish in the game at the moment. But It's not looking good for them. 17-0 in favour of this South African side. The Volthuman now looking for the next gap. Passes one more out to Impevisa. Jordan Conroy has to make a very important tackle. Somehow Visa's ended up back with the ball in hand, even though he was just tackled through the gap. Kieran Nokia scores again. And that is going to be 4 tries within 5 minutes for the South Africans. Where are you from, says Blaine Gordon. I am from New Zealand. You should play Rugby League Live 4 again. It would be quite cool. I feel like, because Rugby League Live 5, is it coming out soon, or is it going to be held off a little bit? Because if it's coming out soon, maybe we'll look to play a little bit of that. We're still waiting a little bit for Rugby 24 to have a few more updates and mainly face scans so that we can start some sort of career mode on that. Get straight out in front of the post, does go over. That now makes the score 24 points to 0. South Africa in front of the home crowd have certainly put on a show here. Oh. Right. Harry McNulty back out there on the field now. No number on his back. What a blitz. What time Fiji's first game, says Mr. Billy. Their first matchup that the Fijians are playing. One moment. We'll quickly go here. It is going to be played at 1:38 a.m. New Zealand time. But we won't be able to cover that one, but we will be able to give you score updates from the Champions Cup live stream that we're starting at 1:50. Do you support South Africa or New Zealand, says Blaine? A little bit of both. Like, I'm pretty impartial when it comes to the world of rugby, just from doing so many live streams doing the commentary. Mark Roach in position for the Irish. Sitting 40 metres out from their own line. They need some sort of points before the end of this first half if they want any chance of being able to get back into this contest. That's a good run from Conroy as his knees chopped out from underneath him from Donovan Don. Now Woods going back across to the right-hand side. Got that classic number 3 on his back, which was Harry McNulty's number for a very long time for the Irish. Slowly making their way forward. Bit of a slip there. Now up to the halfway line. Game over when the fat lady sing bro says when. What time is it by you? At the moment it is 10:52 p.m. So not too bad. Harry McNulty now putting in the big fend. Moving to 25 metres out from the try line. As Neil Powell secretly back coaching, he is not, no. He is currently coaching, I believe is it the Sharks? No, Plumtree's got the Sharks. He's got one of the teams at the moment, though, in South Africa, I believe. Or at least tied up with them. Now Jordan Conroy, pick and go, going to be tackled by Ricardo James Duarte. 2 South Africans trying to get in the breakdown, neither of which walk away with the ball. Now Harry McNulty, one-on-one, little flick on the inside, and Roach has put the ball down. And now Volthuman, he will kick it into touch, and that is going to be the end of the first half. Domination from this Blitzboks team. 24 points to 0. Stormers of the Sharks, says Blaine, and I, Hamish, says Lally P. In there, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Go the box, says Jeremy Jacobs. And also, what a blitz. A little bit earlier on, and this is exactly what it has been. Just out and out pace from this South African side. Like, I don't see a way for Ireland to get back into this game the way that South Africa have gone in that first 22. Powers, the director of rugby at the Sharks, not coach, says, let's be fair. And with all these tries, I'm sure Neil Powell is hiding in the shadows, says Neville. Either that or just the side is doing extremely well. Like, they've had a couple decent games overall, the Blitzboks, and I know that at times they have struggled. Like last week, we saw them defeated a couple times, but like, this is still a side that when they're on their A game, they can beat a lot of sides. And hey, Kiwi lads, happy 62,000 subs, says Duke. Thank you very much, mate. With all these tries, I'm sure Neil Powell. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And have you mentioned Juan Smith, South Africa, yet, please? Says Lally P. I have not, no. No mention of Juan Smith just at this point. Box on another level when playing at home, says Mr. Billy. And thanks for the commentary, says Robert Wood. No worries at all. And a good start by the Blitz. I hope they can keep it up, says Backman. Yeah, I think that if Ireland score early, like I don't even know if that gives them half a crack. Given the chance, would you coach Wales, Hamish? Says Graham Wilson. honestly, like, I don't think their coach is the problem at the moment. I know that so many people like to blame Warren Gatland with what's happening for with Welsh rugby, but there's a lot more that's happening than a coaching problem at the moment, and I think it's like a whole reset that's needed. So, I mean, if they're going to chuck me a couple $1 million like they chuck Gatland, probably, but I don't think I'd do any good. But then saying that, at the moment, the way that they're set up, I don't know if any coach would do that well. And for Shell says, win there. Have you been monetized yet? Says Gugu. We have on this channel, yes. What's your name? It is Hamish. But now, speaking of names, Tristan Lades onto the field for the second half for the Blitzboks, are already making those early changes. Going to be kicked off long. And nicely taken by Ireland. We're under a huge amount of pressure in their rebuilding phase at the moment. That's the penalty to the Blitzboks. Ricardo James Duarte locks himself over the ball. Now Donovan Don going off to the left-hand side. Little loop around play here. Kiwanokia goes on the outside to Impevisa. And he scores the try again for South Africa. They're working their way towards the 50, the way that they're going here. No, we're not chucking you a couple million, mainly because you have a Scottish name, says Fleshin. And we have got there... the Boks are very happy playing at home. How many minutes in now? Currently at half-time, but then just starting the second half is when we've seen another try being scored. Who's your money on to win the Sevens in Cape Town, says Jared. Honestly, like, if South Africa play like this in all their other games, they're going to be right up there. I do think that Fiji are still going to be a tough side to beat, but it depends, because if Fiji win their 2 games in their group stage comfortably, they're up against Uruguay and Great Britain, and I don't think that is going to really test them like the games that Argentina and South Africa are going to be playing, and whoever wins that head-to-head, I believe, will be the side that go through. So that next game is so crucial for those 2 teams. Of course, if Argentina are upset by Ireland, it opens up the door perfectly for the South African team with their points differential that they've already been able to create here. But yeah, I think that Argentina-South Africa match is going to be the one that determines who gets the semi-final. Now, nice attack and run up the middle of the field. It looks like Costello, he should be able to score. Yes, he does. And the try comes for Ireland. Probably a little bit too little too late, but at least gets rid of that 0. I remember the Scottish player called Hamish Watson. Says Buckman, yep, the open side flanker, I think he was for a majority of the time. Not actually sure what's happening with him at the moment, whether or not there's still the injury there. I'll coach Wales and tell them only one thing that like Rassi does, go F them up now, says Frank. That one's going to be going over. So the score, 29 points to 7. I named my Airedale Terrier after you, Hamish, says Johan de Bruin. I feel like that's a big compliment, in a way, having a dog named after me. So hopefully the dog is all well. And he is a well-behaved dog. I assume it's a he. Maybe. Hard to say. Saviwe Swizwapi now going off to Reinda. His first touch of International Sevens Rugby. Tristan Lades trying to find his way through in Ireland. The hands were down a little bit in that breakdown. Spain did well in Dubai. Exactly right. Whether or not they can back it up here, we will have to wait and see. Now passing on the outside. Quick hands coming. We're getting shut down early. But then that's the thing, Kenya won their first game up against the Australians, so if Kenya can beat Spain, they'll go through to the semi-finals. I'm sure Hamish is a boy name. Says win there. And now, good contest in the breakdown, but the penalty goes the way of the South Africans again. Now, 4 minutes remaining. He still licks his own balls, Sammy, just saying. Says Doctor. Hamish, do you have any enemies? Is that enemies? Not that I, know of. Not from my side anyway. I assume that we've got a few people who don't like us very much. But, I've always been one to just let the past be the past. And, at the end of the day, people will have their opinions. Can't really change them. Or else you spend a lot of time trying to fix their thoughts on you, but no. Not on my side, I will say. I have a tame rat called Ratix, says Sakabula. And go the Blitzboks, we love you, make it evergreen, take a moment, make forever green, forever gold, Says Aline there. Now Ireland tackled on their own 22-metre line, hoping for an Afrikaan final. That would be pretty awesome. Or sorry, an African final rather than an Afrikaan. Yeah, if we did see both sides from Africa through there, because we've seen them play before in a final, and we actually saw them play in the Olympic qualifiers, and that was actually won by the Kenyans. We have got there, Hamish, do you like the song called Fiend? I don't actually know the song called Fiend that I know of. I have no enemies, well, except my family, says Neville. Do you remember Flight of the Conchords? Flight of the Conchords. It rings a very big bell. So it's one of two things. I think it's a music group, isn't it? From a little while ago. That's going to be nicely taken now by Ireland. Now running it hard at the line. Just too little time remaining. It's by Travis Scott. Yeah, I haven't heard it. Now passed out wide. Ball's going to be dropped by Costello. Fruit stand the best, says Doctor. Afrikaans me African means, says Getsadel. Now another change being made. I think Woods makes his way back onto the field. And that is going to be for Niall Comerford. Sean Williams was the injury replacement for Ronald Brown. And like I mentioned, no Christy Grobbelaar or Ryan Oosterhuizen for this week. So quite a few changes being made by the Blitzboks, but still doing very well from what we've seen here. Oh, a little bit of a slip there from Saviwe Swizwapi. In fact, no, it's Ndlovu who's got himself the ball. What's the next game, says Mr. Billy. So the next game that has taken place that we are covering on the channel, I'm not too sure if we got any more today, but the next one that has taken place is happening just around the corner. Little grubber in behind me. We'll come back to that in a very short moment. Harry McNulty has to clean up the ball. It wasn't an easy one, but does manage to hang on. The women's game between Great Britain and Fiji, though, is the next match that's taken place for the Cape Town Sevens. Again, lovely commentary from South Africa, says Marthinus. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate a little bit of a counter-art coming from David Britz. Just put in Ireland under all sorts of pressure. They've gone for the kick downfield, but it's only made 15 metres. And now Donovan Don spins out a one, gives it out wide for Ndlovu, and he will score the try. He was one of the men brought in for Oosterhuizen or Christy Grobbelaar. And West Live, make it evergreen. Thanks, Blitzboks. Says Alina, well, that score I'm impressed, says Irwin. And we should mention that this score, in terms of points differential, will be absolutely massive for the South African side. But it all comes down to what happens in their next game, which will be up against Argentina. Now, if we're very lucky, we may be able to find a way of doing the commentary for that match as well as the Champions Cup. We might be able to find a fill-in for 15 minutes or so, because that is one that we certainly will not want to miss with how important it will be for the overall outcome. But now 1 second remaining. Go the Blitzbox, says Patricia. Going to watch the HL Stormers today in my town of Port Elizabeth. Game got moved due to the Sevens taking place in Cape Town, says Jared there. And we are going to be covering that game on the channel up against Toulon. Should be an entertaining one. That one's going to be kicked into touch. And that is the end of the game. A dominating performance from South Africa. 36 points to 7. What's wrong with Ireland? It's not even hot in Cape Town. I think the biggest thing that hurt them there was the inexperience. I mean, they had Comerford, they had Mark Roach, and then they had a little bit of Brian Mullen and Jordan Conroy. That's all the experience that they've got. They've lost Terry Kennedy. They didn't have Harry McNulty, at least for a little bit of this game. He ended up coming back in the end. And, I mean, Costello, he scored the 1 try for Ireland, but he probably cost them 2 or 3. What championship games are you doing? So, for the championship, first game is Sharks versus Exeter Chiefs. Second one will be Stormers versus Toulon, and then the third, Saracens versus the Bulls. That's the plan at the moment anyway. We will possibly look at adding one more for the 9 a.m. if I am still wide awake. If not, then we'll just do the 3, and then maybe one tomorrow, depending on the games that are taking place at the same time. And Terry is wizard for Ireland, says win, and thanks a ton for the comms, Hamish, says Graham Wilson, no worries at all. So like I said, hopefully we will find a way of being able to cover that South Africa versus Argentina game, taking place in quite a few hours' time. It is going to be starting for that one at 5:41 a.m. So that is 6:41 for you guys in South Africa. And yeah, we'll see whether or not we can find someone to cover for us during that time. And damn, the boys have been done us proud. I'm on my knees begging for forgiveness for doubting you, says Neville. Sophie Rayners, I do not know. Just to say, no insider intended for naming my dog Irish. No, none at all. And yeah, hopefully the dog is well behaved, just like myself. Of course, and thanks so much, great channel. When it's the next Sevens game, says Buckman. So hopefully we will be able to cover that one at 6:41, but we will be doing another Champions Cup live stream at a similar time. So we're going to be doing the Champions Cup for the next 3 games, which is 2 hours each, and then we will also be given the updates of what's happening in the Sevens. So there'll still be Sevens action happening on that other live stream. It's just more of the case of the main commentary will be the Champions Cup. Kenya will beat Spain. If they do, they'll go through to the semis, which would be absolutely awesome. Love the way you roll your R's, says Leon there. And up the storm is later, says Aline. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the Champions Cup, as well as tomorrow. We've got plenty more of the Sevens, the semi-finals, and all the playoff games that are taking place. We will also have on the channel as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.